Hello, my name is Melissa Fulkerson. I am with Elsevier. I'm a sales director with our ebook business. My role at Elsevier is kind of a unique one. I focus exclusively on our ebook sales through our vendor platforms externally through third parties. This can sometimes take the form of our ebook sales on EBSCOhost or ProQuest platforms and others, but it can also be on our own platform, ScienceDirect, if it's purchased through Gobi or other mediated platforms that way. Sorry. Because of that, I kind of have a unique kind of visibility to what is happening in our market across both of our major channels through our direct sales on ScienceDirect, but also through what's happening on our aggregator platforms. And I sort of have the privilege of being able to see what is happening on both sides and help us sort of make decisions to grow our overall business. I will caveat this talk by saying I'm only representing decisions made on our ebook program. I can't speak to what's happening with our journals in various areas or any of our sort of data analytic tools. But if you do have questions like that, come see me afterward and I can put you in touch with the right people. So I have to sort of give a little bit of quick background here in case you're not already aware. ScienceDirect is our main platform for disseminating research content. Everyone in this room likely has either heard of it or used it in some way or seen it in the past. It began largely as a journals platform. We didn't really even have any ebooks on the platform until 9 or 10 years ago. It was mainly a journals platform, and prior to putting ebooks on ScienceDirect, everything we were selling was either in print or it was in through Amazon on Kindle or through places like EBSCO, but we weren't really doing anything with ebooks directly to libraries. As that sort of evolved and we saw the massive uptake in the last 10 years or so, we saw the opportunity that was at our fingertips with marrying ebook content with journals content in the same place. So we added more and more of our books over the last 10 years or so, and now we have 35,000 plus ebooks. Everything we publish in the research business goes onto ScienceDirect as the main channel for that piece of content. We've been able to do a lot with the value of the platform itself in the usability of the content that we put on the platform and the usability of the books with the journals together. I don't know if any of you were in an earlier session on artificial intelligence, but one of my colleagues, Anne Gabriel, was talking about a lot of the things we're doing using machine learning to kind of draw people into ScienceDirect, either from the open web through things like topic pages or linking book and journal content together on ScienceDirect so that we can kind of enable that discoverability of content when a researcher is trying to either learn something new or investigate deeper into the topic that they're trying to learn about. And that's important to know because the use case for ScienceDirect and the value proposition relies heavily on the fact that it is DRM-free. So the platform itself is DRM-free as a rule. It's I think it always has been, and that's for journals and for books. But that's a main component as to what we offer for the platform for the research community and for libraries. Again, the breadth of content means that the whole of our publishing program is all in one place, and having it be DRM-free means we have a lot more flexibility in what we can offer users to be able to do and what we can offer in terms of like I said, linking pieces of content together and drawing people in from external places to try to learn more about their topics. The nature of DRM-free means unlimited institutional access, and for us that also means unlimited download. So you can download journal articles, obviously, but also for ebooks you can download at the chapter level or a whole book as a zip file. So it's not a full ebook file, but it's a zip file of individual chapters. The portability of being able to download at the chapter level means our researchers have the ability to kind of just take what they need and then go. So if they're working in the field, they can put it on their iPad. If they don't have internet access, it doesn't really matter because they can take the PDFs with them, use it, and then come back into the web interface later on when they're back and able to do that. So, as I mentioned, ScienceDirect being the main vehicle, we also do have a pretty significant business in the aggregator platform. And that's important to us because we want to make sure that we're able to offer choice for librarians and choice for users in how they would prefer to acquire the content. You guys both talked about DRM-free obviously being a huge part of it. So we're seeing a lot more libraries move over to ScienceDirect, especially now that it's available through Gobi. So I'm happy to hear that that's part of your decision-making process. And we definitely did see that. We added our platform to Gobi about 5 years ago, and we've definitely seen a migration. And we're in the process of adding it to Oasis as well, and that should happen soon. So we expect to see a little bit more of that too. Most of the ARLs, particularly in the US, and most consortia globally work with us directly. It's easier for them to do that. It makes more financial sense for them a lot of the time. These are also most often journals customers already, so they already have the platform and the users are already trained and they understand kind of how to use it and how to get in and out, how to get the content that they need. But we also recognize that there are institutions that either don't want to work with us directly for buying ebooks or don't have a need. They prefer to buy title by title, and it may make more sense for their purchasing workflow through Gobi or through aggregators directly to not work with us, and that's okay. We're fine with that. If they don't have the budget, they're not research intensive, there's a million reasons why. They don't want to justify buying large collections. And they also have, you have a million options of where you can get your ebooks, right? If you don't want to buy from a publisher directly, there's still, I work with 15 different aggregators on, the books are available on all over the place. So we are fortunate that we have our own platform, but a lot of publishers don't, and so there's definitely still that need for the aggregator that I don't ever see going away. So the DRM-free option for that, I think, is fantastic. We do continue to license ebooks through EBSCO and all these aggregators so that we have the option for librarians to purchase through that channel if they choose. But because DRM-free is such a strong part of the value proposition for Science Direct, we do put DRM on the content that's on the aggregated platforms. So for EBSCO, using the example, we're not part of the DRM-free program. We believe in it, we do it ourselves, but it's, we want to make sure that we can drive our researchers to the place where we feel the value, the content will have the most value. And it allows us just to differentiate between the two offerings. We have different usage and access models available to sort of offer as much flexibility as possible to librarians who are making purchasing decisions. We're in single 3-user unlimited access. There are limits, but the pricing is varied based on the access level, so there's definitely flexibility if you're trying to work through your budget. But I think the largest value for that is the title-by-title option, because we're selling through Science Direct, we're selling mainly collections if we're working with libraries directly, but the title-by-title option, if you just want a book or two in a specific field that we publish in, is obviously a strong offering for the aggregator model. Just to touch on piracy a little bit, for research book content, piracy really is not the driving force behind our decision making. We look at it mainly from an access perspective as opposed to trying to mitigate piracy or remove any instance of individual people sharing PDF files of books. We understand as a content provider, as a solutions provider, that large-scale institutional access is the easiest way for researchers to get the access to the information that they need. It enables them to do their work more efficiently by being able to download the content they need. And it just makes it easier for them just to kind of get in and out, and it removes those levels of hurdles that they have and the hoops they have to jump through in order to do that. We use piracy tracking services, and we obviously do a lot with copyright infringement and taking legal action when necessary. But in terms of a risk perspective, we're focused more on sort of larger scale initiatives rather than, again, individual, college students sharing one PDF of a chapter. For us, it's really just more important that the access to the content is available and that the researchers have the ability to do what they need with it once they get in. So for me, thinking through this as we've sort of done our planning meetings and things, the main takeaway for me is that as a large publisher, as a large commercial publisher, we want to make sure that we have the breadth of offering in the market that still allows us to be successful in what our goals are while meeting the needs of the library and the research community. So by having sort of a multi-channel strategy and having a value proposition that we feel is a really strong one for our own platform and offering the DRM-free access, but then following it up with the aggregator offering so that we can make sure that we still have something for everyone, essentially, we feel that we're doing, hopefully working our way toward meeting as many of the needs as possible that the research and the library community has. So.